I used to love the smell of a pipe.
My dad smoked a pipe growing up.
That's all my dad ever smoked. He never smoked cigarettes.
It smelled pleasant. I enjoyed it.
Oh, so pleasantly smell. It's like a good cigar.
Good cigar.
Smells
nice.
good. But it doesn't want me to make me want to smoke. But my dad would smoke a pipe. I remember him filling it with tobacco and lighting it. It's like a ritual. It was a certain way you did it. And the packing the pipe was important. But the smell was so good. But then I know my dad stopped smoking the pipe because his doctor told him, you know, if you want to live a long time, raise these kids, you need to stop smoking. And he did. He just stopped smoking. I was probably kindergarten or first grade when then he never smoked again. Wow. But that was just a farm thing because they grew their own tobacco. His dad smoked the pipe. And when the boys all got to a certain age, they could start smoking a pipe. It would just become a ritual. But they never smoked cigarettes. It was always just a pipe. I like the smell of a pipe.
So much more pleasant.
So pleasant.
My dad would always put like a drop of called it sweetener.
Yeah, they always added something to it, but I don't know if my dad must have because it smelled. I mean, it was a pleasant smell.
I think it smells okay by itself.
Probably just by itself, just the smoke, the leaves of the tobacco plant, but it was very pleasant. And it was interesting because they had the pipe stands, you know, where the pipe leaned up and then.
I remember my dad had a box that was pipe stands, and he had like 6 or 7 different pipes in that box. And he had one that looked just like the classic Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
With a big drop down and spool back up, huge bowl.
Yeah,
thing.
my dad never had a bunch of. He usually just had one pipe, but he had a glass. It was a glass jar with a wooden lid on it that he kept the tobacco in. And then on the side of that was the little holes that you stuck the pipe in. Neat memories. Now you never see anyone smoking a pipe. Lost art, I guess.
Stevie on occasion.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen him like chew on a cigar.
Yeah, Matthew will buy a cigar every now and then. Or he used to. I don't know if he does anymore.
No, Steve has got a pipe. He'll smoke it sometimes.
I've never seen him. I don't think Matthew's ever done a pipe.
I remember a little Calvin and Hobbes comic where Calvin decides to ask his mom if he can smoke, and his mom decides to teach him that smoking is bad by saying, "Yeah, sure, sweetie, I think Grandpa left some his lemon cigarettes out on the counter." And she lights one up for him. He goes outside with it. He takes a really deep breath and he starts coughing and wheezing and drops it. And she says, "And now you know smoking is bad for you." Yes.
Yeah. Learned by experience.
Typical parent teaching moment, because my dad told me a story about it's either his mom or dad doing the same thing, because he was probably younger than Garrick. Said, "Smoking's cool. I want to smoke a cigarette." And they said, "All right, you're going to smoke a whole cigarette." Popped him on the kitchen counter, stuck a cigarette in his mouth, lit it, and said, "Now smoke."
Oh, goodness.
And I think he said he ended up throwing up.
Turned green and threw up.
And he's just like, "Okay, I don't think I want to smoke." She said, "Yes, remember that.
Yeah.
This is actually a really terrible habit."
That would be a harsh way.
You know what? Couple minutes? Less than 10 minutes is done and over.
The thing is, and for some kids, that's all they need. Others, it's still not going to work. But it's not going to.
Meant to live
It couldn't promote it when you do something like that. But kids who are going to do something, it's the group they run with.
When you would go to Schulenburg as a kid, did they speak German to each other or did they speak English?
Both. I remember both.
Okay.
A lot of German going on, a lot of English. But when my uncles were sitting around the porch, I would still hear both, but it was usually if my granddad was out there, then it was more German.
No.
But because they all spoke English fluently, there was no need for German, but I would hear German.
Is that why you studied it in high school?
Probably. I mean, even just knowing that my family came from Germany would be enough. But I would hear some. Yeah, I would hear it. And like we couldn't really talk to Granddad that much. I never heard him speak English except that one time. He always spoke German.
Oh,
Y'all heard the story about the cold water and her grandpa, didn't you, Maddox? Did she tell you that story?
About the cold water? No.
We were little kids, and we played outside all the time. And hot weather, cooler weather, we were always outside. We'd come in when we first got there, and we'd say hi to our grandma and grandpa, and then we'd head out with the cousins, because there were a bunch of us cousins together, and we would play. Well, we came in, I was probably maybe 6 or 7 years old, and we were just thirsty, and we were telling Mom, Mama, we need some ice water, so hot. I need some ice water. Well, we don't have any ice water. Grandma doesn't keep ice here. She always had an ice box, but it was like a big chunk of ice, and then it kept everything cool, but it wasn't like an electric refrigerator. It was just an ice box. We don't have ice. And Mom, we need ice water, it's so hot. And my grandfather, who never came out of the bedroom, he walked into the kitchen. Here were all these kids complaining of being thirsty. And he came in and he just looked at the sink and he put his hand at the sink and he said, "The water from the well is cold." And that's all he said. And he turned around and walked back into the bedroom. And we just stood there like, our jaws dropped. It's like, Grandpa just said the water from the well is cold. We knew immediately, stop complaining, get your drink of water from the faucet, and it will be cold. And we did.
Were y'all astonished to hear him speak English?
We were so shocked that we heard Grandpa use English.
Wow.
Yeah. I still remember that. I mean, I can picture me exactly where I was standing where the sink was to the left. I'm right in the middle of the kitchen, and it was probably just Ann and me. If Mary was there, she was the baby. She was little, because we were young, and complaining about being so thirsty and wanting ice water.
Look at that bright moon.
Yep, there it is.
Well, now it was your other grandpa that you were so close to, right?
Yeah, my mom's grandpa. He taught me how to play pinochle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's pinochle?
It's just a card game where you only use the high cards. It's only 10 through ace, the high cards, and you use it's either 2 or 3 decks. I don't remember how to play pinochle, but he also taught me how to play solitaire. And we played solitaire at the table. He died of emphysema, lung disease. He was a smoker all his life. And he had tuberculosis. So he had damaged lung. He died from that.
He originally worked for Hughes Tools?
Yeah.
Was Papa born before or after his family moved from Germany?
After.
Okay.
He was born in America.
It was the first generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandmother was
You're making me 4th generation.
already here, and she was born in America.
And her people came from Austria, right?
Yeah. But my grandmother, the kids in her family were all born here, as I know. And then my grandfather, when he came over, he was a single man, and he ended up. I don't remember where all he was, but he ended up in the Schulenburg area, and he was introduced to different people who had daughters, and my grandmother was like the second daughter, and he went to visit them, and they knew that he was wanting a wife, and he was this family, Narendorf family, was recommended because he had quite a few daughters.
Those Beiers, right?
Yeah, the Beiers.
Yeah.
And my grandfather went, and he arrived on horse, and he was talking with them and all, and he met the different daughters, and he invited my grandmother to go for a walk. It was a standard thing, beginning a courtship, possibly, if she would be interested, and he invited her to go for a walk or for a ride on the horse. And so they went off on the walk to get to know each other, and the older daughter, Anna, was bitter. Never did get over that. That Mary the guy asked her for the walk and didn't want Anna. But he had already been warned that Anna had a bad temperament. And so he avoided Anna, and she never married.
And she was the one that was so horrible to your dad when he lived with him.
Because then Dad was the son of Mary and Joseph, and Anna felt that she was slighted, that he should have invited her for the walk.
And Martin peed the bed, which he couldn't help.
Yeah, and he
she
got
would
in trouble. But the baby sister lived with Anna.
Francie?
The baby sister, Francie, she never married either. So Anna and Francie, I remember them living together. And we would go visit them. And I didn't really remember Anna that much, but Francie was so personable and so friendly, shorter, little tubby.
I met her one
lady.
time.
Yeah, you met her.
Yeah.
And because Anna passed, and then Francie lived by herself. In fact, I had those calla lilies from Aunt Francie, and they grew for years at 618 there in the corner of the porch. And then all of a sudden we moved and they died. And I should have dug up the calla lilies. But Aunt Francie always took after my dad and cleaned up after him, because he would have to get up and get to school and leave the bed. It was wet, and so she would always clean it up, so Anna never knew. Because if Anna knew, she was ugly. Just so angry. Yeah. Funny story. But I don't remember anyone that much except Anna.
Yeah.
I mean, Francie.
Francie, yeah. I just met her that one day. We were out going over to the store, and she was walking down the street, and you introduced me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they live just a little further than the church.
Yeah.
Down the road on the
Yeah.
right.
That house is gone now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go by there now, the little house is gone.
But now the house where she grew up and
Yeah,
your
that
dad
was
used to
across the
stay, that's
road.
the one we went to see.
Yeah, that was a little across the road and a little further down than where Aunt Francie and Anna lived.
Staha has that now?
Some of the Dreitners.
Okay, Drayton.
I think that's the Dreitner side of the family.
Yeah.
Got that.
Now your dad said that his grandmother and grandfather on his mother's side were the Beiers, and then on her side there was also a Kraus. I think his grandmother's maiden name was Kraus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go to bed.
Getting sleepy, getting bleary-eyed. I'm enjoying the fire and it not being too cold, but it's chilly.
It's chilly.
Does anyone know what temp is? It is? Yeah.
Glad I got my heavy coat on.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to get cold now.
Go on in and get your PJs and brush your teeth, kiddo.
Alright.
I'll go with mine.
Okay, I'll be in just
I'll get the fire. I'll put it out.
okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Good night.
Good night. We'll see y'all
I
in the
might
morning.
have to stand by it and
We'll
warm
see you in the
my
morning for
backside
breakfast and then
first.
we'll head out.
Because it's cold.
Chilly when you get away from that fire.
Thanks, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoyed that. You want another one before you go to bed?
We got stuff in the freezer.
All right.
I'm going to stand by the fire and enjoy these last
Me too.
little bits of warmth. I love it.